Welcome back, Wolfpack. It is Vlad coming at you here, early morning hours, December 2nd, 2021, almost 5 a.m. for me here in the central United States. I am Vlad, part of the Saitama Wolfpack. I am not your financial advisor, just sharing my opinions, perceptions, ambitions, stuff that I see in the markets. I'm not paid by anybody to talk to you about anything. This is just me talking to you. And yeah, that's all we're doing. Me talking to you. So, lots of good links. If you have not already discovered, you can click where it says show more. Bam, right there below you. And you'll have lots of good links down below here. We are listening to Dragonis today, and his song Crush playing in the background. He has a Spotify channel here, YouTube channel there. Lots of good links all over this place, right down in here, okay? So if we hop right in over to it, over here at Saitama Guru. I haven't really seen much out of his Twitter in the last couple of days. We're still just kind of waiting on all the news to be released throughout the week, essentially, is what I was seeing. And so they will be doing that as they can. With breach of contract, you don't want to go there. And so if they have signed any sort of official deal with these other companies that they're partnering with, if they were to go against that deal, it'd be bad for all of us, right? So for those of you that are just pissed off and like, oh, where was the news? Why are we waiting on the news? I mean, I can understand your frustration, but I wish that you would kind of just like sit back and look at it from my perspective. I don't need the news, essentially. I know it's going to be big. I know the big things already involved with Saitama. So at this point, I'm just like glad I'm a holder. Everywhere that I could, I was buying dips and everything. And now at this point, I'm even looking at some of the other projects that are kind of like mentioned to be officially tied. So if there's a new project that I know is going to be coming over into Saitamask, I'm looking at them, right? There's lots of new projects that are going to be essentially coming to this exchange whenever it's listed, right? Like Wafer Coin is one of the first ones that's officially listed to Saitamask. That's like a big one. If you don't know who they are, definitely check them out. There's been rumors of others like Impact XP, right? So, yeah, guys, what you're seeing right now in the community, what I'm seeing is a lot of people hating on other members of the same community. Like, you have every right to put your money wherever you want, right? It's your money. And I advise you to make sure that you do your own research and check things out. Like I said, I'm not your financial advisor. I'm just like another investor like yourself. But if you think that I only hold Saitama, you're crazy. I just bought into a project today. You can kind of go through my Twitter and probably figure out which one. But yeah, I got some trillions in that one. Because it's early. Super early. I was one of the first 250 holders. Who knows where that could be 6 months from today. Like, if you were to go back and look at Saitama, if I'd have gotten trillions of Saitama, oh my gosh. Yeah. It's crazy that we are able to get in so early on some of these investments, because all you really have to do is look for the right places, look in the right circles, follow the right people, and you can find potential if you know where you're looking. Okay, that would be my recommendation for you all. Hop over to Twitter. On Twitter, we've got all sorts of stuff that we talk about all the time. Like, here's Wafer. Wafer Coin is the official crypto of the social media platform Red Wave. The project hopes to create an entire crypto ecosystem through the Red Wave platform. This is like the BSC chain, essentially, so it'll be tied to Saitamask and everything. But I like them. The whole pirate kind of theme, just kind of I was in the Navy, so kind of ties to the sea, I guess you could say. I've traveled around the world underneath the ocean, so that whole song, what was it, Hans Zimmer wrote a couple of years back for Pirates of the Caribbean, kind of sums it up. but the heave ho song. But yeah, I'm excited to see what partnerships we're gonna have with Saitama. It's not about hating on one another. Like, the whole point of Saitama was collaboration, right? Bringing together all these projects. And Saita is not like just a wallet. It's not just this, it's not just that. It's like everything, right? We've got an exchange, there's a wallet, there's the education side of things, there's the metaverse. There's so much, and you're trying to put a box around this project, and you just can't do that essentially right now, because that you've seen on the market today that I know of, there's not another project that has even half of the same utility that Saitama is bringing. Is it still in the works? Sure. Is it out there to where you can use it today? No, not yet. But it's coming. We've all seen the beta. Several people have used the beta. So, for those that are just saying, oh, it's just announcements, oh, it's just hype, I mean, nobody's forcing you to be here, bro. If you want to bring your negativity to the game, don't bring it here on our Twitter spaces. Like, I report you every time. There's this one guy, he literally went through and attacked like 5 different people. We're talking like Faltron, Empire, myself, like 2 other people. 5 different tweets that I'd seen just over the last 24 hours. This guy's just a hater. He has nothing better to do than be a troll and attack people on their social medias. It's like, dude, I don't know what high horse you think that you rode in on, but damn, you really need a freaking reality check. You need to humble yourself. You act like you're all high and mighty and that you've never made mistakes in your life. There's not a single person out here that hasn't ever made a mistake. Me, I've made tons of mistakes. Never said that. But I'm here today still being honest with you, being genuine with you, owning up to my mistakes. That's the important part, right? It's like I tell people personally, whenever they approach me and they've got a situation, they're asking my advice and stuff, I tell people it's not like bad things happen for a reason. I used to kind of say that, oh, bad things happen for a reason, we come out stronger in the end. It's not even that. It's more that nothing is, in life, whatever it is not redeemable, okay? It's how you handle the situation. That's what's important, and that's what matters. But whenever you're just an asshat going around trolling people on Twitter because you have nothing better to do than, try and make people come down to where you are, I mean, people see right through that. And like I said, if you're going to do it on my Twitter, I'll just report you real quick. So please, this is like 2 days in a row now I'm having to cover all this like nasty negativity, I guess, in my videos, but it's getting really prevalent and I'm sick of seeing it. Like, I mean, we're one community, guys. Saitama, Wafer, Impact, all these tokens that have essentially kind of, been hinted at, like this is all going to be one collective community here. Why are we hating on each other? Right? I've had people DM me about Mindy. Like, oh, there's something wrong with Mindy. She's on drugs, I'm like, no. Just because she's part of Saitama, who's this, going to have this big exchange where other projects come and list on it, she's going to not sit here and talk about other projects that become part of that? Why? Like, I'm glad that she's given us heads up on some of these projects. For those of us that know what we're looking at, like, oh, hey, yep, hop on that one real quick while it's still early. Thank you. Thank you, Mindy. That's where I'm sitting. You should be too. Instead of hating on her, if you really understood anything. But there's a lot of people in this place. I spend a lot of time in Twitter spaces, and today actually I sat in a Twitter space for like 2 hours, didn't even speak, didn't request to be a speaker, just sat back and listened to people talk. I did that this morning too. I did speak for a moment, but then for the most part I just sat back and people just listen to people speak. What I'm seeing a lot of is that while this is a great place for people to come and voice their concerns and everything else, I'm seeing a lot of people just grab the mic and just like, hey, look at me, here's my 5 minutes of fame. And it's like, you're kind of ruining the spaces. for Shaka and myself, essentially, we don't really police the space to where we're like, all right, dude, shut up. We just let people run with it. But at the same time, like, it's getting kind of old. Like, everybody understands what's going on. We don't need every single person to get up and repeat the same thing over and over again, because that's what's going on here lately. Like in that space I was sitting in, this last one, for like 2 hours, man, it was just the same nonsense over and over again. Everybody repeating the same crap somebody said 5 minutes before. I mean, if you want to come and hang out and have fun, by all means, do so. If you want to contribute to the conversation, do so. But, like, for God's sakes, this isn't about, like, hey, everybody, let's get famous on this. Like, this is a place for people to come hang out and get support. And it's getting to the point now to where, like, people can't even speak because we have so many people that want to be just freaking microphone rock stars in these spaces. It's getting old. So please keep that in mind. If you come in and join the Twitter spaces, essentially, like, if you want to grab the mic, by all means, grab the mic and speak for a moment. Ask a question. If you've got some knowledge on the topic and people want to ask you a question, by all means, hang out on the microphone. But if you're just going to come on up there and then hang out, and every time somebody wants to speak, you want to throw in your 2 cents on it, I mean, that's not necessarily what we're doing in there. If you want to do that, host your own space. You know what I mean? But otherwise, like, come in, ask your question, hang out for a second, and then pass the mic off to somebody else. Keep in mind, we do this for hours on end, and if we just have the same conversation get repeated every freaking 30 minutes, it gets really dry in there. I'm just like, man, I'm ready to freaking do something else. Like, if you see me in a space and I'm not speaking, and then all of a sudden you see me dip out, means that, yeah, it's probably dry in there. Like, it's getting to the point now. We had some really good discussions going on, but because everybody's just kind of sitting back waiting for news at this point, everybody's just like, hey, let's go over here on Twitter and let's just hang out and talk the same old talk for, I don't know, the last 48 hours. Nothing, hardly news been mentioned for most folks. They just want to say the same crap over and over and over again. Talk about, oh, we can wait, and I don't know why they're making us wait, and blah blah blah. And it's like, why are we even talking about them? Still waiting on the press releases. Why are we talking about prices? Why are we talking about anything? Honestly, other than, like, diamond hand, like, I'm gonna stake this crap as soon as Saitama comes out. That's really all I care about. Do you understand? I don't watch the price of Saitama at all. I don't even check my wallets. I'm literally like, okay, I'm waiting for the news that A, I can download Saitama, and B, I can stake all my tokens. That's all I care about. I mean, do you understand? I can sit back here and just live my life. I don't worry about anything. Nothing. God gives me complete peace in my life because I'm able to surrender that to Him. But also in the fact that I do not watch price charts on my coins that I hold. I learned a long time ago, you will stress yourself out real quick, and it does nothing. I mean, you looking at the price chart every few hours, do you think that's going to make the price of your token that you hold go up? No. You coming over here to Twitter and being supportive of it, shilling the project to other investors that are like, potential investors in the project, where you can see, okay, here's a legitimate thing where I can show people this is a good investment. Not just like, hey, shill, I'm an asshole, and throws out a bunch of nonsense like in Telegram. No, like, if you got a legitimate thing that you can show people, like, hey, look, I invested in this project back in August, and between August and September, I made this much amount of money. By all means, show them. That's what I do, essentially. I've taken screenshots over the last couple weeks, months, and I can show people where I put money in over here, and now it's worth this much over here. Keep a record of stuff so that later on you can use that to show people. Results win. You just blah, 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 blah all day long does nothing. When you have tangible evidence to back up what you're blah, blah, blahing about, it's a little bit different. People tend to stop, right? And especially if you can be genuine and honest and you know what you're talking about, you can be knowledgeable, whenever somebody asks you a question, people will stop. They'll listen, right? There's so many people today that literally just hear the first thing about something, they get excited about it, and then they're like, oh, run off and start telling everybody about it, even though they don't know anything about it yet. Like right now, I bought into a new coin. I'm not even telling you like the name of it, essentially, because I don't know that much about it. I invested into it because it was early. I'm like, yep, okay, whatever. But until I know more about it, I'm not going to go shouting to the rooftops anything about this project. Been there, done that before. Learned my lesson. Rick and Morty, first version, back in September. I was an investor. On the AMA, they asked me to come in on the admin team because I'm good at doing this. And they wanted me to do this, essentially. After a couple days, I'm like, man, something's not right. I was new at that point. First time I'd ever been on an AMA. I didn't know what was going on. There were red flags, and I just didn't know that, hey, they were like, this is a freaking rug pull red flag kind of thing. But yeah, I do now. Like, what it did was give me so much inside knowledge to where I can bring it all to you now. Like, not that I'm glad it happened, but I am thankful because I learned so much. Like, what happened to me in that first Rick and Morty back in September, I learned a lot, and I think I'll be able to use that to all of your benefit. So I'm grateful for it, you know. Like I said, it's not that anything in life, bad, good, whatever, happens for any sort of reason. They just happen. And when they do happen, how you handle yourself, that's what matters. Everything in life is redeemable. Okay? So, I don't really have much else for you. We're still awaiting the big news. Check out these other projects. If you've seen projects that are tied to Saitama, I would definitely be looking to invest in those projects, whatever the case may be, because you can bet your money basically that anything that's tied to Saitama going forward, it's going to be a good investment. So if you cannot still buy billions of Saitama and everything, whenever that time comes, you need to be looking at, well, I can still buy billions of Wafer, I can buy billions of Impact XP, I can buy billions of this, I can buy billions of that. Any of those other tokens that we know are kind of already mentioned with Saitama and being tied to Saitama, those are the ones that you're going to be wanting to move on down the road, right? Like right now, it's like we've been talking in our Twitter spaces. If I can still buy billions of Saitama right now for, you know, a relatively low amount of money, that's essentially what I'm looking to do, is load up my bags, buy those dips and everything. But I also want to be looking ahead and know what projects are going to be coming when Saitama comes out. That way, hey, I can jump on that train. Or even like today, I got on one today that is not even, you know, obviously Saitama isn't out yet, but I hopped on board that train because it was super early and I was one of the first 250 holders. So I'm excited, guys, not just for Saitama, not just for Saitama, but because of all of the partnerships, all of the other projects that are going to be coming with it. Okay, so please, I ask that you would just remember, we are a collaboration here. Saitama, it's a collaborative effort. We're not just Saitama all the way. There are other projects out there that are good, and they're partnering with Saitama for that reason, because it's one community. Okay, so I'll get this out to you. If you have any questions, please leave me down below. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to my channel. I will get you content out as often as I possibly can, usually daily. Sometimes I end up working weird hours, and so I'll work more than 24 hours straight. And so if I skip a day, it's not that I've skipped it, it's that I was on the phone for so long I literally didn't get to it until the next day. Sometimes that does happen. So I apologize if you see that I didn't get you a video out in that actual like 24-hour period. It was still technically for me the same day. I spend so much time on the phone, guys. Sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours, and then I'll just boom right into another phone call, and then get done with that and go into a Twitter space. I mean, it's really hectic, but I don't mind. I honestly like talking to people. I like hearing people's stories. I like being able to help people. And so for me, it's a blessing. And it's like, I know for me right now, it's work, to be in a place a year from today where I can just do whatever I want to do. The people that are in my life now, we are building each other up, and we know that going forward, what we are creating today is going to change our lives, to where we don't have to chase money anymore. So please, I ask you, do your own research if you haven't already. Check out Saitama. Get you a bag, okay? For me, I think generational wealth is coming, and I cannot wait. All right, so let me get this out to you all. We'll take care of the how as usual. And guys, make sure you are paying attention for that date from Enoch. Supposed to be in January sometime, I believe. We're going to be going down towards Dallas is where it's going to be. I'm headed down there for that. As soon as I know the date and everything, I'll let you know. And I'll make sure to try and just promote that every day in my videos. That way everybody kind of has an idea it's coming. But yeah, if you want to have a chance to come out and hang out with the Wolfpack down in Dallas, I believe in January, that is kind of tentatively the plan at the moment. But I will let you know more as I know more. And for the time being, like I said, follow us over on Twitter. Come over and join us on our Twitter Spaces. We'll be happy to answer any questions you got, hang out with you, and just kind of shoot the breeze. All right, guys, Wolfpack strong. Oh!